Welcome to today's video. As you might have noticed, it's quite long, but don't worry, I'm not going to be yapping the whole time. I'm just going to be commentating certain key points, especially starts and beginnings of runs. That's about it. You've seen the concept in the title. It's basically just going from here in Paleto Bay all the way to the airport in Los Santos. I'm not even going to show it on the map because you guys know where the airport is. It's just this road, you just go straight. In the city, even there, you just go straight. You don't have to take any turns. There's like one tiny turn in the end, which isn't a turn, it's just like you have to swerve a bit. But all cars or vehicles go through that quite easily. As you can see, we're starting with the slowest class. So this is the cycles class, which, this isn't the slowest vehicle, but it's the slowest, fastest vehicle of, every class. It's a bicycle that goes about 75, 76, as you can see there. I have added a little speedometer because it's story mode, so I added mods, and then you have a little speedometer. I also added gears and RPM just because I thought it was interesting. For the bike, it's not really interesting because it doesn't really have gears, so it's just, spinning at 9,000 RPM, yeah, sure. But for all the cars, it's a little bit interesting, as you can see that on some sections, especially before the highway ends in the city, you have a really long downhill, which is quite bumpy. There you can see like how the RPMs and gears interact, which might be interesting for some people if you're wanting to get into racing, for example, a little bit more. But yeah, the bike run is not that interesting. This is the longest run. So if you want, I'm going to be adding chapters on YouTube, so you can skip ahead. If you don't want, you can also just watch it. It's a nice cinematic ride through Los Santos. At some point I will change perspective a bit so you can look around. But yeah, I will stop yapping for now, and I will join you once we are towards the end of this run. little yap break. As you can see, there was a little cut there. In the original run, I actually like went up the hill there, and I accidentally clicked a button that opened Social Club. So I lost all my speed. So I just went back a little bit, went back to top speed, and then started again. Doesn't really change anything for the run. Alright, see you in a bit.
Think you a tough guy? Yeah, that is a... Come on, baby girl. Hey, what's up?
Damn, I'm not taking it.
Alright, I'm back again. As you can see here, this is the only, well, turn, like I call it. It's just like some cars, if they have a lot of speed, they will have a hard time going there. But it's very manageable, like it doesn't scrub off speed, so it doesn't really give the edge to a car that corners better. And as you can see there, the time was just under 10 minutes, which is funny because my green screen timer is a 10-minute timer, so I was really glad I didn't have to get another timer. But yeah, it was just under 10 minutes. Now the times are going to be way, way faster. Like, this is the industrial class with the, I think, Guardian. I kind of forgot about this vehicle, but it's really cool. It's like a big, big truck. And yeah, now the times are way faster. As you can see, this thing goes about 100 miles per hour, 160. At this point, I also turned off traffic. Because the bike, it didn't really matter. But here it does. The only thing is you sometimes have those bikers that spawn in. You will see that a couple times. But yeah, I tried without, or like with traffic first, but it was too inconsistent, and I had 2 hours of raw footage. If I did it with traffic on, it would have probably been like 5 hours of raw footage, maybe even more, probably even more, because I only did like a couple runs on the slow vehicles, and even the slow vehicles already had struggle with traffic, especially in the city, because in the city it's too unpredictable, especially with all the traffic lights, and if you have a car that goes like 260, 250 in the city, yeah, it's not really doable. Especially because of the airport, there's also like a section where it's like, with traffic. I mean, even without traffic, it's a bit sketchy to go full speed. But yeah, this run a lot faster. Now we're going to get way under 10 minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you for a little bit so you can enjoy the scenery, and I'll join you towards the end again. Hello, I'm back again. As you can see, we're going to be finishing way under 5 minutes, so we're already sub 5. So we went from sub 10 to sub 5, so basically halving our time, which is great. But yeah, the next car is going to be only slightly bit faster. The top speeds are very comparable. They both top around like 160, but this one sometimes goes a little bit faster, so it just kind of won out a little bit. Oh yeah, and before I forget to mention it, this is of course the Slam Truck in the Utilities class. A little note, well actually 2 notes about the Utility class, is that first of all, the Saddler also has the exact same top speed. It's like 161.17. This one also is 161.17. I'm not 100% sure about the number, but like I know they're exactly the same. When I checked it, exactly the same. However, the second note, the Utilities class is a bit weird. This thing is classed as utility, so totally fine. The Faggio is actually also available in utility races, but it's classed as a motorcycle. And if it wheelies, it has a little bit higher top speed. Yeah, so I didn't really want to take it for this. I wanted to have like a proper utility car. But yeah, you could consider the Faggio a little bit faster. If you, it's also like if you manage to pull a wheelie, like if there's a corner you can't wheelie and then it loses speed quite quickly. So I'm not even sure if it would be the Slam Truck. But yeah, like if you do utility race, the Faggio is like a very good option. Also because it corners very well. This thing doesn't corner at all. But anyways, I'll leave you to it, to this beautiful. It has a decent engine sound, especially compared to some of the previous cars. But I'll leave you to it, and I'll see you at the airport again. Hello, I'm back again, and as you can see, we're getting close to sub 430, but we're just above that. And we're very close to the Guardian time, but just a tiny bit faster. And as I mentioned before, here you can see the cornering absolutely horrendous, like it doesn't corner at all. Next up we have the Vans class, and we have the Gang Burrito. And the Gang Burrito is, well, once again, a tiny bit faster than the Slam Truck. But its top speed isn't really that much more, it isn't really much higher. As you can see, it kind of tops out at like 160. Is a bit, it goes a bit higher than the other ones, but you can see here it's not really going. This is the first time the gang, the biker gang is quite friendly, because well, we're wrapping their collars basically. But yeah, I'm just going to leave you to it, and I'll see you in a bit again at the airport. Hey, I'm joining you a little bit earlier because I just remembered, while editing, there's actually also the, I think the Rumpo custom in the advanced class, which, you know, officially has a lower top speed, but it has this fun little glitch where if you wiggle, like if you just go left, right, left, right, left, right, you actually gain a little bit of speed. So that might be a little bit faster. But you can try that out yourself. Rumpo custom, it's really fun. Also, as you might have noticed, this is the first car to go sub 430. Although those barriers will be broken relatively quickly in a bit, and also will be very insignificant once we get to the faster classes later on. This is the service class, which actually has very slow vehicles until the taxi custom came out. Like in online, you know, you had first the taxi, but then we could buy the taxi and we could customize it, you know, with engine upgrades, and that actually makes it a decently fast car. But well, a taxi is just a normal car, so As you can see, it goes around 76. So decent bit faster than the things we just saw. Decent bit, a little bit. But also the handling is just normal because it's, well, it's a, what is it called? A Stanier? Like, it's basically like the police cars as well. But yeah, once again, I'm going to leave you to it, and we'll see each other in a little bit at the airport again. Well, this is the first time a vehicle actually belongs to the airport, by the way. Like a taxi. It's perfect. Anyways, bye-bye. Welcome back. As you can see, we are going to blast past the sub 430 barrier, and we're getting closer to that 4-minute barrier actually. And yeah, it's a great little car in the service class, I guess. Not really a raceable class, but yeah, here we are. And as you can see, our next vehicle is going to be the thruster, which is in the military's class actually. And well, the military's class, the rest of them is really slow. Like you have the barracks and stuff like that, and all those things I don't know the name of, all those military vehicles that probably came out around the Doomsday Heist. But yeah, I think the fastest like normal car thing, or car, truck, whatever, like they had a top speed of like 160-ish, so similar to like the Slam Truck, Guardian, or like the burrito, no, the gang burrito, like the gang van. So really not that fast. This thing, yeah, supposedly a high top speed, but yeah, I couldn't really get it to that top speed, especially because, well, this first section I had to get over Chiliad, which was a bit annoying. As you can see at the speed right there, I'm not really going fast, I'm just getting altitude. But it does mean I can lean forward a lot more, which, you know, increases speed a little bit, in a little bit. But yeah, the run is slow for air vehicle. I'm telling you that. Like, once you see the later classes, which are air vehicles, you will be like, okay, yeah, the thruster is horrendous. Like, when I did my research for the video, I looked at the top speed, and it was like, oh, it's not too bad, blah blah blah. But yeah, no, it's terrible. Especially like it's time to like ascend to a certain height. It took way too long, and it's very, like, very not nice to maneuver. As you can see, like in the landing in a little bit, which I will meet you again. So I'll see you in a bit. Here I am again, and as you can see, we arrive here not sub 4 minutes, sadly. But yeah, well, you can get a little warning from the airport right here, but as you can see, the landing is just like very scuffed. It's like, in the end, we have a time just slightly faster than the taxi. But yeah, in the next class is normal car class again. We have the complex class. Here we have the club, the BF club, based on, of course, a Volkswagen like Golf or like Polo. Like, it has some different design elements, but like the older one. And this one is a decent jump in performance for the cars. As you can see, like the taxi went around 170-ish, 175. This one goes 180-ish, 185. So I will see you in a bit, but a little bit faster bit because it goes, well, faster. Hello there. We're back, and this time we're almost beating that 4 minute mark. And as you can see, we're just above it with 4 minutes 4. So the BF Club actually got really close, and the next vehicle actually might get very close. And it's a vehicle, as I said, it's not a car. It's a boat. The boat class has the long fin, which absolutely dominates the class, by the way. Like top speed wise, this thing is, I think, like 40 or 60 kilometers per hour faster, top speed wise. It goes around 200, maybe even a bit faster, you get lucky, but you have to keep contact with the water a lot. So if you take a lot of jumps, you're losing in speed. You'll see that during the whole video. But yeah, for the rest, it's relatively straightforward. We go around the right side of the map instead of the left side because it's way shorter and actually leads towards the airport. So I will just leave you to it, and I will see you in a bit. As you can see, we are approaching the airport. I decided to go here on the, well, very tippy top of the map. Yeah, the boat was a bit difficult to compare because we can't really go to the more airport parking lot. And this has a time slightly faster than the BF Club with 4 minute 2, 4 minute 3. Of course, this could been a little bit faster if we didn't go to the uppermost outskirt. Then we have the open wheels class, which has the BR8, which is interesting car. Lap time wise, this thing is rapid. Like on a lap, you will dominate like insanely much. But top speed wise, well, it's a Formula 1 car. It has a lot of downforce. So as you can see, it's faster than the cars we had before, but compared to some of the other classes, this gets beaten by like some of the most regular classes out there. Like around the lap, this would beat all those cars by about 10, 15, 20 seconds, maybe even more if it's a longer track. But here, like, this is the top speed trim, so I didn't go for the biggest wings, I went for the smallest wings I could find. And as you can see, yeah, it stays very consistent. Also isn't really affected by curb boosting, for example, so that's why it also loses out well, to a lot of other cars. But yeah, I will leave you to it. There's not much to this run. It's very sticky, so corners are no problem at all. And there's not even corners in this track, so I will see you in a bit. Welcome back. I'm joining you a little bit earlier just because I want to, talk about this section. As you can see there, most cars would jump there, have some airtime. This thing just sticks to the ground, which, is cool, but it doesn't bring it anything in top speed tests like this. So as you can see, here's the only, it's not a corner, it's the chicane, I call it. But yeah, like, it's no problem at all. And this is actually the first car that will break the 4-minute mark with 3:55. But as you can also see, the next car is the FR36, which is a coupe. And coupes, like the coupes class, isn't a fast class. It's not a fast class at all, especially compared to like open wheel. But yeah, top speed wise, as you can see, it's already, going around 200. Then it hits a little, curb, not a curb, but it gets the curb boost activated, and then it just jumps up a little bit. So as you can see here, it's actually hovering around the top speed of the F1 car, but especially late in the run, when there's a lot more, imperfections in the road, it's gonna gain so much speed, especially in the city. I will actually join you there, because just to explain a little bit. As you can see, it is under the top speed of the F1, but I'll join you in a bit, and then we'll discuss it a little bit. So I'll see you in a couple minutes. Okay, I'm back again. So this is the section I was talking about. So as you can see here, it only goes like 190 and stuff, but then a little bump, 194, blah, blah, and now it's going to 10, and then down here, to 15, to 16. The F1 car didn't really have this. Especially in the section after this, it's gonna pick up some speed. You know, it still continues with that 2.6, 2.10, and here, yeah, 2.26 for a little bit, 2.30, and it keeps the speed for like a good amount. So here it's gaining a lot on the F1 car. As you can see here, it will drop off a little bit, will still staying above 200, and then every time it hits a bump again, it goes up to 220 again, 230 even. There, you know, curb boost 239. So this section, it gains a massive amount on an open wheel car. So something like curb boosting in GTA is quite significant, especially like top speed wise. You know, in cornering, yeah, BR8 dominates this thing, but top speed wise, yeah, this thing just has such a big advantage due to the curb boost. As you can see, also the corner or chicane isn't really like the C. Even this thing nails it, and yeah. And as you can see, 347, a good 7-8 seconds faster than the BR8. Next up, we have a also racy car, you know, a Vagrant in the off-road class. Also once again a disclaimer, the BF400 is a motorcycle which you can also use in off-road races, but once again, like the Faggio before, it's a motorcycle, so I'm not using it here. So instead we use the Vagrant, which, as you can see here, similar-ish top speed towards the like the F36 in the Coupes class. You know, it goes down to 190, but then it hits like a little curb, and then it goes up to, well, 200 for a little bit. I think for this one I will also join you guys a little bit once we get into the city. Bonjour. As you can see, once again, it's like 190-ish, then we go up this ramp, goes up to 215, then down there, as you can see, it has a lot more downforce, I guess, or like the suspension probably, and then it goes up to 220, and here it stays 200 as well. And then as you can see in a little bit here, a little bit boost, it's very similar. As you can see, it got a little bit better there, like 240, so it's a little bit better with the bumps compared to the FF36. Not a crazy amount, but a little bit. As you can see, it goes above 240, 243 even. But yeah, I will join you in a little bit because, well, I can talk about bumps, but it's not that interesting. So I'll see you in a couple seconds. Okay, I'm back again, and as you can see here, the time is very similar. It's like a couple tenths, maybe. Like it's almost identical time-wise, but it's, yeah. But it's nothing compared to the next car, actually, because this thing has a naturally, well, way higher top speed. It's the Schafter V12. Officially a sports car, so I know, like what I said before. But yeah, it's still a car. I think it's more a sedan than a sports, to be honest. And also the armored version of this is a sedan, and they basically have identical top speed. So it is basically a sedan, like, you know, that's what, at least my take. For example, with the utilities class, is a Veggio really a utility vehicle? Very debatable. The off-road class, okay, that's a different debate. But anyways, let's focus on this run. As you can see here, 208, 200, it's really good. Keeps up speed really nice. And this thing is also gonna fly through the city once it hits some bumps. But the big thing about this one is that it keeps up its speed really well, even on the no bumpy sections like here, where it keeps the speed consistently above 200. Anyways, I will see you in a little bit. As you can see here, I'm not taking the off-ramp right there because this thing sometimes is a bit unstable, so I was like, maybe not do that. But yeah, as you can see here, it keeps up the speed, gains a little bit, and especially in this next section right here, he will definitely gain some speed. Yeah, as you can see, 230, 243, 250 even. So it has a way higher base top speed on flat compared to the Vagrant. And also here on the bumps, it's a lot faster. Around the lap, a Vagrant would win because it just has a lot better grip. This thing is, it's not terrible grip-wise, but it will slide the rear a bit. It's rear heavy, it has a lot of power to the rear. But for top speed, track or test or whatever, it's really good. Keeps up the speed really nice. I think it's still the fastest. Well, yeah, it is still the fastest car in the Sedans class. As you can see here, I had a little crash, but it was a cool recovery. That's why I included it. But to make the timing fair, I went back, regained some top speed, and reset the timer. Yeah, so as you can see, we're not even talking about the 4-minute mark anymore, because this thing is gonna come in sub 340 even, with a time of 338/339. So it's really fast. Next up, we have a car that also has a really high base top speed, but more importantly, this one has a really high top speed if this bumps. So as you can see here, flat area, it gets up to 200. As you can see, 208, 7, and it kind of stays. It's like the Schafter V12, stays above 200 nicely. It won't go much faster unless it bumps. So next time I'll join you, it will be in the bumpy section. So I'll see you in a little bit. guess who's back? Okay, once again, I'm not taking the off ramp because this thing is too bouncy, so I didn't really want to take it. Also makes a comparison with the shaft a little bit more fair. But as you can see here, like a tiny bump already 220, and then keeps its speed. And in a second, we will hit a lot of bumps on the downhill. So we'll see what kind of speed it will reach. Yeah, 240, keeps bouncing, goes towards 250. Just misses out on 250, but as you can see, 249, 250 again. And yeah, in this next section we will have a little bit more bounces, and this thing is especially good because it does this with like very small, small little dents in the road. It doesn't even need a big one. It also gets a big boost. It goes from 220 to 240, 250 quite quickly. All the cars need like a couple boosts or like a couple in a row. But as you can see here, it goes really, really fast. I had to hope it didn't flip there. I was like, oh no, only 2 wheels. But yeah, as you can see, still not sub 330. It's very similar in time to the Shafter. It's a little bit faster, that's why it's ahead. So yeah, 337 for SUV, incredible. Next up we have the sports class, quite early actually, because a lot of other classes actually beat this. If we use the HAW, yes, this would be dominant. This would be top 3, top 4, something like that. However, I decided not to do that. So we have the normal regular Benji GTS, which is, it's upgrades. And yeah, it's a good car. This would beat a lot because it's very grippy. But yeah, top speed, as you can see here, 208, 209, then a little bit faster if you hit something, but it will kind of go back to that like 210 range maybe, hit a corner a little bit faster, like a little slower I mean. But yeah, nothing crazy, but it's very consistently fast. As you can see here, tiny bump, and it keeps its speed up really nicely. And also on the bumps later, it will definitely increase its speed, so I will join you for that in a little bit again. It's bumping time again. This time I would decide, okay, I have enough grip, so let's take the off-ramp right here. As you can see, it increases my speed a little bit, and then we go to 20, to almost 230, very close to 230. Then it reduces a little bit, but we know the bumps will come right here. And let's see what we get. We get 230, 230. Okay, not that crazy actually, but it makes sense. Like Italy GTO would have gone ridiculously well. Italy GTO is very similar to the Tauros we just had, as in that it gets a lot of curb boost. This thing is decent, it just wins out because it has a really high natural top speed. But as you can see, it only boosts to about 240, which isn't that impressive because it already is going to 10 to 20 naturally. But yeah, like a GTO would have gone ridiculously fast. I kind of tempted to test the GTO, but I don't think it would make that much of a difference, because this thing I think would win overall in the Sandy Shores area for sure, which is a very long area after all. As you can see, we're getting very close to sub 330, just missing out at like 331, 332. Also, I did mostly hit jumps, but I was like, okay, some of the jumps take long because the story mode says it's a slowdown. This one is funny because as you can see there, it gets even slower. This legit took almost 3 minutes. It was like 2 minutes 40 for it to land. I went I turned around, talked to my girlfriend for like 3 minutes, and I was like, oh, it's still not done. And then, you know, as here, I wasn't not even touching my controller because I was just not there. I was like, this really took long. 2 minutes 50 is crazy. 2 minutes 40. It's crazy. Next up, we have the emergency class with the Coupes D10. Is it D10? I think it's a D10. And yeah, I was playing with the lights. Yes, I love that. I know. If you want to know, if you do like click click, like it does the boop, boop, or like if you hold them while they're on, you also make different noises. I mean, most of you probably know it, but if you don't know it, little fun fact. This thing also was surprisingly fast. I didn't know that. Like I know the normal Coupes D10 is fast, but not that crazy fast, like compared to the Banshee, for example. But this thing was crazy fast, especially like later on the bumps. It gains a lot of speed as well. As you can see, look how fast it's going. Like this is a tunnel. This is not even a bumpy section. So I will join you for the bumps again because I'm gonna be very excited for the bumps. I hope you too. So I'll see you in a bit. Bumps. Okay. Anyways, we're at the bump section again. Let's see what this thing does. Nothing crazy yet. Okay, do a little jump. Goes to 220. But yeah, this section is just filler section. The real section is down here. Okay, let's see what it does. It's in 9th gear, which is crazy, by the way. 230. 220. Okay. You know, I did this testing like yesterday, but it was just consistently fast. It doesn't actually do crazy with the bumps. It's boring. It's just I remembered like normal Coupes D10 has like this glitch where it has like if you have really high FPS, it just like yeah, maybe because I locked my FPS for 60 just to have it consistent. Well, 59.5 to be exact. Okay, I'm a bit disappointed now. But yeah, also yeah, it has terrible handling. This thing, like the cornering, terrible. That's why I also had a crash, so I had to reset again. But yeah, as you can see, it goes quite fast, but yeah, nothing crazy. But yeah, we're getting very close to sub 330 with a 331. As you can see here, look at the handling. Terrible handling. It's crazy. Anyways, next up we have the Sports Classics. Normally the Z-Type would be the fastest, but you know, special vehicles are also included in well, the classes. So we have the Toreador, which, you know, like unlike some other cars, is actually like a car. It's a car, it looks like a sports classic car. So it makes sense to me. It just happens to have some boost. Yeah, so its normal top speed isn't that high. As you can see, it decreases really fast, but it just keeps up its speed because it just boosts. And then it very consistently goes to like 220, especially late in the run. So I will be checking in with you guys in a bit once we hit the bumps again. So see you then. once again we are back at the bumps, and as you can see here, like it keeps the speed really nice. I don't boost here because I know I will go flying, but I can boost on the downhill. So that's why this actually gains a lot of time, because sometimes the top speed is not that great because it reduces the speed a lot, but it can just keep it up even when other cars, you know, in up hills or whatever, they lose a lot of speed. This thing just keeps on going. And also, as you can also see here, like it doesn't gain that much. Like it goes to 40 for a little bit with the boost as well. But it's just that constant boost. Like you go constantly above 200. Even like if there's a corner, like yeah, they're not really corners. Never mind. But its start is really quick. Its start definitely, like you can just boost out of the fuel pumps. It's really fast. And even like a section like this, it's not crazy slow. Like if I don't boost, because I didn't boost because, well, corners. Like it doesn't go crazy slow, which is really nice. As you can see here as well, don't boost, so it only goes like 190 a little bit, but then boost again right up to 220, and it's just barely faster. Once again, still not sub 330. This 330 is really a hard barrier to beat. But if I remember correctly, well, I don't even know, like, it's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna be a surprise for both of us. But this thing, yeah, the Revo custom, like, keeps the speed really well. Keeps the speed really well. Like, it just has a lot of power, so it just keeps that speed going, like, above the 220. Like, really well. That's why it's just consistently, like, the Toyota, like, boosted to 25, sure. But this thing consistently keeps it. But it's terrible in corners. That's why I brake there. But I think basically no other car I brake there. But this one I had to. Like, it's really bad at handling. Now it's a drag car, so it makes sense. Anyways, I'll join you at the bumps again, because I have high hopes for this one. Okay, so here we are at the bumps again. As you can see, it's keeping its speed quite well. I had good hope because, yes, it handles terribly, but it isn't extremely bouncy. I didn't do it with the Shaft or Taurus because they're just way too bouncy. This thing isn't really bouncy, just very on the stereo, like it doesn't steer at all. As you can see here on the downhill, it does quite well. As you can see, 260, almost, well, 269, nice. Almost 270. Oh, there we go, 272. It's just going ridiculously fast. Like its base speed is crazy, and then it goes fast here as well. Like 277, I think I saw for a second there. But as you can see there, yeah, I have to take a very wide line because, yeah, handling horrendous. Around the lap, yeah, good luck winning anything like this. You really need like a long track. I mean, you can see it, right? If you take another car like, you know, like a Banshee or whatever, Toyota even, they will get a similar time on top speed, but they will dominate this thing on track. However, this thing, yeah, okay, it's quite a decent gap, 324, so about 6 seconds, 7 seconds faster. So yeah, it does actually do quite well on top speed, but you need still like quite a long area to really utilize it. Next up we have the Reaver, if I'm correct, which is crazy. Like it has this weird bug. You can see like it shakes a bit, and it goes 250, 260 quite easily with the wheelie. The only thing is that you have to, well, have a straight place. So once again, like the Weevil, you just need like a very straight area. On a smaller track, some other cars, or like cars, motorcycles will win. However, if there's a lot of straights, this thing can quite easily pull at a lot of speed. Although a lot of motorcycles are really fast, but this thing is like a good bit faster than the other ones. Also, a little surprise. I actually did a second run with a motorcycle. And that was faster, so you will see that in a little bit. Like even faster than this. Hard to believe, I know, but yes it is. But as you can see here, like really fast, touches 260 regularly. 260 is something like the Weevo only touched, you know, on the downhill. Talking about the downhill, I'll see you there in a little bit. Hello and welcome back to the downhill. We're not taking the thing because bikes don't really respond that well to curb boosting, I think. I'm not even sure if they do, but like, I don't try it. Especially because you're wheeling. Wheeling is gonna give you a lot of speed, and if you really over curb, you're just gonna fly. But as you can see here, yeah, fly is actually crazy. Like it benefits way more from the wheeling, so this is not actually a crazy part. So I will actually join you back in the airport because this is not really actually that interesting. Anyways, bye bye. And we are back once again at the airport with another sub 3:30 time, just beating the Weevil by about 3 seconds with a 3:21 time. It's, yeah, great little car or motorcycle, but yeah, it will definitely, you can probably be a little bit faster if you just wheel a little bit more. However, the next thing has a lot more tires, as you can see, about 6 very big tires in the rear, or 4 tires if you count that, I guess. And this thing actually has surprising good grip. It's slicks, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, this is like the rear door, big boost, but well, this is a big boost. The rear that's small boost. This, yeah, as you can see, boost is up to 240. So before it can even go under 220, this thing already has a boost again, and then you're going to 40 again. Yeah, you see it like 227 and then boost again. I will be back on the bumps because this thing actually bumps a little bit. So see you then. Hey, and here we are again at the bumps. This will mostly be downhill as well, but as you can see, yeah, it keeps up speed a lot better, so it can boost a little bit more. But I can also see that it reduces a lot of speed, and the bumps help a little bit, so it goes above 250. Yeah, the boost kind of stops working 250 sadly. So yeah, I will join you guys again at the airport, because just like the bike, this is not that interesting. Although it's going to... Nah, yeah, okay. It doesn't really go above 250, 252. Anyways, see you in a bit. Welcome to Los Santos International Airport, and here we are with the Vigilante, absolutely destroying the times before it with a 3 minutes 11, which is about 10 seconds faster than the previous, well, motorcycle. Talking about motorcycles, this is the older motorcycle that I was like, okay, this can definitely beat the other motorcycle, because this can just, well, cheat a little bit. I'm going a little bit to the left, so I don't have to fly over the highest part of the mountain, because I know I'm going to lose a lot of time just flying up. As you can see here, like, yeah. But yeah, once I gain some ground contact, I can quite quickly accelerate to 200. That's the thing about this thing as well, like it accelerates really, really quick. Especially in the start as well, where you just 200 right away. And now we just settle in. Yeah, there's no really bump section, so we just settle in. So I'll see you guys in a little bit when this thing will land. Guten Tag. Here we are again with the Oppressor Mark II, and as you can see, very constant 200 kilometers an hour. And it's just, yeah, it's not about the top speed that much. It's mostly about it just cutting a lot of sections, and that's how we get our first sub 3 minute time with a 2:58, which is really insane. However, the next vehicle will do a lot better than that. Little spoiler, well, yeah, you know already because it goes from slowest to fastest, but this thing is going to be faster. And why is it going to be faster? Well, it's top speed. Quite simple. It just has better top speed. Here, like, the difference is a bit, you know, the Oppressor also went slower here. So I'm not sure which one is faster here. This has to gain some altitude, but we're doing kind of the same route as the Oppressor. But as you can see in a second here, once this gets going, it actually has a really, really high top speed. And we're gonna go get going. Yeah, okay, a lot of words right there. But yeah, here you'll see I will move it forward, and it's quickly increasing its speed. As you might remember, the Oppressor Mark II 210 This thing is already going fast, so it's still picking up speed. Officially, this says like it has 270 as a top speed, which it's getting close to. It's going to 55. Yeah, now it's getting kind of a little bit stuck. But still 252. It's a lot faster than the compressor, about 42, 44, 45, 44, 40. Okay, it's going a bit faster now. Yeah, 40, 50 kilometers per hour faster than the compressor Mark 2. So yeah, this is how it gains. So I will join you guys in a little bit. So yeah, see you at the airport. So here we are again at the descent. As you can see, it picks up a little bit of speed with about 267 as a top right there. But then we have to slow down a little bit so we can kind of land it. But we crossed that little blue board, which is the finish at like 247, which is really, really fast. About like, what was it, like 11 seconds faster than the Oppressor Mark II. Anyways, this is the king of the classes. King of the classes? Yeah. Fastest in his class, the planes class, but also like very dominant in all the other classes. You know, before we talked about, okay, the 10-minute barrier. Then we had the 5-minute barrier. Then we edged towards the 4:30 barrier. Then we had the 4-minute barrier. Then you remember, okay, the 3:30 barrier was quite contested, especially with some of the cars. Then we broke that. Then we went to the Oppressor, which broke the 3-minute barrier. Then you had the Sparrow, which, you know, went a little bit more into like the 240s, you know, 247, 248. This thing, however, I'm not even gonna say like, oh, I'll see you guys later, because this run really doesn't take that long. This doesn't even break the 230 barrier. This doesn't, like, this breaks the 2-minute barrier by like a lot. As you can see, that the speed is insane. Like, it's going 370s, 380. And in a little bit, like here we're already starting our descent a little bit, because we're still above like the 1,000 feet. Because if you go above like 850, 950 feet or something like that, you actually gain a lot more speed. As you can see here, like we're going down and we're still above 1,000 feet. So it's going way above 4 kilometers per hour. In a little bit we're going to be a bit more aggressive with our downhill. Yeah, as you can see here, we're going down a lot more. But then, you see here we hit 850 feet, drops the speed like to 300. Like a lot. You see how much of a difference that is? It's crazy. But anyways, we're not even breaking the 2-minute mark. We're breaking almost the 140 mark. If we just went full straight, we would have had hit the 140 mark. So yeah, that's the end of the video. If you actually watch this all, really impressive. Hour and a half. That's long. That's like a kid's movie. Anyways, thank you for watching. Even if you just clicked on the chapters and wanted to find out, thank you still. But yeah, make sure to subscribe, like, maybe comment on something. I don't know what you want to comment about. Maybe on the bumps. What is your top speed on the bumps? Good question. Because like sometimes I go on the bumps to see how fast I can go. What is your top speed on the bumps? You know the bumps before the hospital when you enter the city? Alright, let me know. Anyways, thank you for watching and goodbye.